Hi, my name is Ivy Carroll, and I created this page, Parents and Kids. Actually, you see that I've posted two various videos, and I was trying to delete it because this is my first time trying to post something on Facebook on my page, and I'm trying to delete it but for one reason, it's not deleting, and I'm making oh dear, I'm making mockery of myself. But all the same, I still want to put something there. I want to introduce myself. Um, like I said earlier on, my name is Ivy Carroll. I'm a mother of three beautiful kids and crazy kids. I've got a busy and crazy life as a result of these three kids. I'm still learning and I'm willing to learn. I'm trying to not to build up a perfect picture of my family, not at all, but I'm trying to build a happy home. And in this journey, I've had my first child is 7 years, so I've been a mother for 7 years, basically, plus let's say 3 years of being with my husband. Ignore that. Anyway, I would like to share some of the experiences I might have learned. Some of these experiences might not be my personal experience, but experiences from other mothers. Some experiences I've heard from friends, and I'd like to share. And I'm not here to judge anyone, not at all. Far be from it. I'm here to share some of my experiences. I'm here to share something I've learned. Like recently, I learned something, and I would like to share it with you, lovely folks. I know many of you have taken your children out, and many of you would not like to take your children out because of the inconveniences that it comes with. For instance, me personally, my family, let me say my husband and I, we don't like to take our kids out because of trying to create inconveniences for other people. For instance, you go to a restaurant, people are there to have family time, to have calmness in the environment, and you see your kids jumping everywhere. My kids are like jumping monkeys. They jump everywhere. They don't sit down, especially my son. He doesn't know how to sit down, and it's like awkward situations for us. So we decided that it's better to just have our family time home. So if we want to eat out, we just go to McDonald's, pack the food, just come. We get the McDonald's, we get KFC for ourselves, and we just have the meal at home, watch a TV, and that is more convenient than trying to disturb other people. And they are growing, and stay in the house is sometimes boring, even though they want to have family time, but they also want to experience the scenario of being with other people, not only themselves. I think especially my second daughter, she's fed up of seeing mommy, daddy, sister, brother. She wants to see other people. She wants to feel she's at a place. So she's always like, mommy, let's go out. Mommy, can we go out and eat? Like recently we took them out as a result of Father's Day, and my daughter just said, mommy, I wish every day was a Father's Day. And I think it's a time that we do more of going out. I'm not saying going out and spend, and I'm not saying that there are some parents that they are not financially prepared to go out and spend that much. Yes, you can take your kids to park. You can have a picnic in park. I've not tried that, which I'm willing to try sometime. Having a picnic at the park, going with drinks, going with some fruits, and just sitting down, watching them play. That is also going to be a great experience. Having a tea time, which that my husband does that a lot with our son, especially when he's at home to take care of them or he's on annual leave. and I'm working, he normally has a tea party with him. They just have some cake and some biscuits and with a cup of tea. And that also is a kind of time you can have for your children. Like I was saying earlier on, creating inconveniences for others is one thing I would not like to do as a parent. And secondly as well, when you go out to a restaurant, I don't know if you other parents have experienced this. You go out to a restaurant and you buy a meal for your child. Maybe the whole meal costs about £6, and your child only have a little and the rest goes waste. Obviously, the restaurant is not going to say because your child didn't eat all the food, they're giving you half price for that. No. The restaurant is going to charge you for it. And that reminds me, let me share a story with you. We went to a buffet. It was one of us' birthday. I can't remember which one of us. But we went out to a buffet, and my son, they said kids under 3 years. They said kids under 3 years are free. But when we went, my son was, I think, 2. And when we got there, the lady registered us as 2 adults and 2 kids. So that means my son was free. But in the midst of it, I think the lady kept coming for the plates on the table. And he saw my son, how he was eating the chicken, like a big boy. He was really eating. And as a result of that, she said to us, she said, "Oh, how old is he?" We said again. So that was it. She left. Later on, we had the bill, and I realized that the bill was more expensive, with about £4 something. And I was like, no. The lady registered us as a family of 4. So in other words, my son was not included. So we were just looking at the receipts, and we realized that my son was being charged because he was eating more than maybe the sisters were even eating. So they realized probably they think we were hiding his age, and he's very tall for his age as well. So they charge him. They might think he's 4 years and we are saying he's 2, or he's 3 years and we are saying he's 2. So they charge us for the meal actually. So what I was going at was, sometimes you feel you go out to a restaurant and you have to pay for something that your kids are not having, especially if it's not a buffet and is it eaten out. But I learned something recently when we went to one outing, and we bought a burger for all the kids, and they didn't eat at all. I think they had so much drink that they didn't eat. So I asked the lady if we could pack, and she said, "Why not? It's our food." But then we didn't have anything to pack with, and I had to tell her if she could give me a container to pack the items. They didn't have the container at the restaurant, but the lady was good enough to offer us an ice cream container, a used ice cream container that probably the restaurant had used, and we packed our food into it and went home. And that clicked my mind to something that I would like to share today with parents. Taking your kids to a restaurant once in a while is not a bad thing. First of all, before you go out with them, you have to let them know that they have to behave themselves. Something I've also invented, which I call the points. Every day I give my kids 5 points, and I'll talk about it maybe in a later video or later on, but I give them points, and anytime they misbehave, I take a point out of it. And when they are out of points, I give them any punishment that pleases me. I can put them in the naughty corner. I can make them kneel down. I can make them go to bed early, etc., etc. So as parents, you can also give your kids a point. You can try it. If it works for you, you can take it. Also, I realized that when you're going to a restaurant, you need to get some containers, a bowl with a cover, nice cover, and just have maybe a hamper bag, any hamper bag, and just put the bowls inside and go. If you and your family have finished eating and there is any leftover, you could take. For instance, I've had a burger for my kids during Father's Day. We went to a restaurant and we ordered chips and burger, and they only had the chips because we had a starter as well. So I think by the time having the starter and having the drinks, they were full. So they only had the chips and the coleslaw, and they left the burger. So what I did was that I packed the burger. I didn't go with a container, unfortunately, but I took some tissue because it was only burger. I took tissues and wrapped the burger into it, and I brought it home. And guess what? Before they went to bed, they were complaining of hunger. And this is a restaurant that you've gone to spend a lot, and you've spent about almost half the afternoon, and you've got home around 5 o'clock, and you try putting them to bed at 7, and they're telling you they're hungry. And they've eaten between the period of 4. They've had a lot of food, but kids will always be kids. They didn't eat their food. So definitely they'll be hungry, and that can save the day. So what I'm telling parents today is get a bowl and a nice hamper bag. I'm not saying that anytime you go to a restaurant you have to pack. No. I didn't pack mine because I just left a little on my plate. So I didn't pack. So did my husband. My husband also left some mushrooms and a bit. No, I'm not saying about that kind of packing. Something like maybe your child couldn't eat their whole pasta, or your child, maybe you've ordered pasta for both kids and you've realized that, wait, hold on. If I add this bit that my daughter has left, or this that my other daughter have left, everything will make a whole that when they get home you could split it for them to have later, or probably you could even have munch on it as a parent. So this is the something I learned over this weekend, which I'll be doing. If I'm going out with my kids, I'll be going with a bowl, and I'll look for a nice hamper bag or a nice outing bag, not something massive that will attract people's, not something that will attract people, not something that will attract people. No, that's not the whole idea. The whole idea is trying to save money on restaurants, because you go on restaurants and you spend maybe a family of 5, you spend about £50, £60. You go out, the reception went low there. Something like a family of 5, you go out and you spend about £60, and your children leave about £15 of food worth. That is going to go on waste because the restaurant is not going to have it. They're going to put it in the bin. So it's better for you to pack. Also, I'm not saying that you have to avoid packing at a buffet, because buffet says that take as much as you can eat. So when you're taking your children to a buffet, you can't save on that. You give them what they can eat and what you feel as a parent you can take. So I'm not advising this. This is not an advice on buffet. This is when you go out to a restaurant that sell food like single-handedly. For instance, maybe they serve pizza, they sell burger, pasta, bread, and all that. You could pack because if you leave it on the plate, it will go waste. And I'm not asking you to take something that will attract people's eyes. I'm repeating it again. I don't want anybody to take me up on this. Don't take something that will attract. Get a portable bowl. If maybe even an ice cream container, that is good, and put it in a bag, a decent bag. So if you go and your kids have all the meal, you don't need to pack anything if they had enough. But what I'm trying to do is avoid waste. That was what I learned, and I have done it twice now. The first time I asked the lady at the restaurant, she gave me an ice cream container which I used to pack my food. The second one, it didn't cling to me, and that same experience happened. And most parents can relate to this. Parents that take their children to restaurants, some may even not want to take their children to restaurant because they realize that they waste much more money and the food go to waste when it comes to the kids. Because when kids goes to restaurant, they are interested in the drinks, they're interested in the dessert that comes along. I see that with my kids. They want to drink. They want to drink and drink the juice. Because normally, like this restaurant we went, I did the whole meal pack. So they gave them a starter, they gave them the main, and they gave them a dessert. It was really reasonable price, $5.99 for one person. So nearly the two of them could cost about the two of them was about £18, £17 something. So nearly £18. And the food they left behind would be worth half the price, because my daughter didn't have her burger. My first daughter had half, and my son didn't touch his at all. And when we brought home, it was very useful. They were able to have that before going back to bed. They had that with a cup of milk. So this is the advice I have today: to save on restaurants. Sometimes most parents don't want to take their children to restaurants based on their experience as a parent. And mine is because I didn't want to create inconvenience for other parents, especially when your children are jumping about. But there is always a way. So always find that way you can speak to your kids. Some people would like to leave their kids with family or friends, which in our case is not possible because my family is not around. Most of my friends are also not around. People that I trust to leave my kids don't live close by. So it's not something that it's possible for me to leave my kids with. And I've got a few neighbors that I would like to leave my children with, but they also have their life, and you not like to inconvenience them. That comes to the inconvenience as well. I would like to ask for that favor, but sometimes you don't take advantages of maybe the person's kindness. So always try to find a way. And when you happen to be going to a restaurant, just carry a bowl of container, and just in case your kids are not able to have that, you could pack it and you could save on that. Thank you today for listening to me. I hope what I said made a bit sense, and I hope you could find something interesting in that, something to learn from that. Like I said, I always learn. This is my personal experience I'm sharing, but a friend might say something and I'll come back and share. And the next time I'll talk about the points I created. And for now, all I have to say is thank you very much for listening to me. I am really grateful. I would like you to like this video if it relates to you, or you find something to learn about. I'm always open to criticism. Sorry. I'm always open to criticism, or I'm open to any comments. I also like to tell people that that's it really. Thank you very much for listening to this live video, and I hope you find something learnable here. Remain blessed. Thank you very much, and see you another time. I need to go and tidy up. Thank you. Bye.